Before we do the next one, I thought I'd tell you, all the tractors in this video aren't in this yard. So since I'm going to be doing this in oldest to newest, it's going to be, the videos might be a little, not, well, they're going to be in order, but they might not be put in the order that they were filmed, if that makes sense. So, if I'm talking about something and I'll say, okay, we'll go go look at this next one and it's not that one, well, that's why, because they're not all at this yard. So, just so you know. Hey guys, how's she going today? Well, we'll do the tractor tour that I've been making you wait for here. So I guess we'll start out with the old Farmall H. I don't know the year on it, but I know it's the oldest one. And it used to be a crazy relative that owned it, and he passed away, and then it made its way here, and Grandpa used it around the yard a little bit, kind of harrowing the yard and whatnot, but that's kind of all it ever did. And then I do believe something went wrong in the engine, or it wouldn't run anymore, or something went on, and then 20 years went by, and here we are now. But that's the Farmall. That's all I really have to tell you about it. I don't really have any intentions of getting it running. I've got a different plan for it. I'd like to repaint it and, you know, make everything look good on it and put it in my yard with a sign or something, put it in a flower bed. That's probably going to piss somebody off, but that's what my plan is for it. At least then it's not just going to rot back into the ground, because I don't feel like making that one work again. I can't remember what it was that was wrong with it, but I remember it being something fairly serious for it to end up getting parked. But anyway, that's the Farmall anyway. The next one is right beside it. This is one that I do want to get going. This is a Massey Harris 44, a 1948. We used to have two of them way back. Like I'm not positive, but I'm going to say 50s. We had two of them, and one pulled the disker, and then one went ahead of it and cultivated and worked everything black so the diskers would sink into the ground for the other one for seeding. And I don't know which was which. One always pulled one and one pulled the other, and then as time went on, it got this post pounder put on the front of it for building fence. But that broke, and then no more cattle, and didn't need to fix fence. And then once again, well, a good 10 years has gone by, and we pulled it out here. It was in the pasture, in the yard, and we pulled it out here. And when we were pulling it, I put it in gear and let go of the clutch, and it tried to start, but it had no gas in it, and it just whatever was left in it, it tried to run on, and then that was that. But I want to get it going, repaint it, new tires, you know, make it look real good again, and just have it around the yard for pulling the little yard harrows. And I mean, it's got a PTO on it, and we have that one PTO Secundiac auger. That's 7-inch. I could run that with this, or just things like that. I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of cool to have an old tractor like this again. So, and one interesting thing, the only tire on it still holding air, that's a factory tire. That's an original tire on this thing, and it still holds air. So I thought that's kind of an interesting little tidbit for you. But anyway, I'm not going to spend too long on each tractor, because otherwise it's going to be an hour-long video, because we've got a lot of them to go over. So we'll get into the yard now and go look at some of the other ones. Alrighty, this is Grandpa Henry's tractor, the 1956. He thinks. Massey Ferguson 65. And he bought this tractor brand new when he started farming. 3-point hitch on it, and I mean, it's his garden tractor now, but he used to have it on the sprayer, little cultivator, pull type swather. It was kind of the everything tractor when he bought it. And it got totally burnt many years ago. One of his friends borrowed it, and the gas tank is right here under the hood. So when the tractor's heated right up and it's a gas, The neighbor borrowed it, used it, filled it up with gas, overflowed it, spilled all over the exhaust, and the whole tractor burnt to the ground. But my uncle, Grandpa's son, he had gone to school for like restoration, automotive restoration and whatnot, so he actually repainted the whole thing. He rewired it, rebuilt it, redid the motor, the whole 9 yards in it. So, well, that was quite a few years ago, but I mean, it still runs like a top and does what it needs to do. So there's the little Massey. Alrighty, you guys know all about this one. Here's the 4020, and I've got all the new parts ordered for it, and I'm not going to really tell you about what we found wrong with it, because that's for a different video all about it. But yeah, this is a 1966, and Grandpa bought it like probably about the same time there, late 70s, early 80s. I'm not 100% positive, but it's got 25,000 hours on it. And they traded I do believe they traded the 1950 Cockshut with a 453. Traded it off for this girl right here. And I had a loader on it and did all the haying, with the hay bine, the baler, picked the bales, fed in the winter time. Stone picker, harrows, I mean, it did it all, this old girl. So it's been around the block a time or two. But yeah, there's the 4020. And I guess we'll move on to the next one now. Okay, now, this is a 1963 5010. The next guy in the list that I want to get in the shop after 4020 gets out of there. But Grandpa bought this guy sometime late 70s, early 80s. And it was on, it was a highways tractor, like it was a outfit, whatever, they belonged to the government, and they used it to repair highways and shit. And it was in pretty rough shape when he got it, and he went through it end to end, and then it got another lifetime's worth of use put on it. And then the motor leaked antifreeze into it, and it hydro-locked when they tried to start it the one morning and fucked the block completely. And that's where it's sat since then. So now like I said, I've got that new motor for it, that 5020 engine that I'm going to put into it, because the 5020 engines were better. But there's the 5010, and you can see right there I've got two new front tires I bought for it. One's on it and one's sitting there. Those are 16.5 by 16.1. So those will be some nice flotation tires on the front of her. But anyway, there's the 5010. Now we'll move on to the next one. Almost forgot about this one. There's the whole backbone of the farm right there. I want to repaint it too yet this winter. I'm not sure on what year it is either, but I'm going to say 70s. Maybe 60 something, because they made them for a long time. But yeah, now we'll go on to some real ones again. Sticking with the green theme here. You guys are all familiar with this one, because I think he's just about been in all my videos. But here's the 1970 John Deere 5020. And Grandpa bought it, I don't know what that'd be now, 12, 13, 14 years ago. About the same time that the 5010 blew its guts. Oh, maybe a few years after it blew up. And I repainted it a few years ago, and yeah, that's the 5020. I mean, you guys have seen it in a lot of videos. I don't think I need to go too in depth on what it is. You've seen it many times, so. Yeah. There's the 5020. On to the next one. Alrighty, now, 1977 Versatile 700 with a piece of fucking shit V8 Cummins 555 cubic inch diesel engine. Fucking dreadful piece of garbage, but it sounds good with 2-inch straight pipes. There's the old girl right there, if anyone hasn't seen it. There's a couple videos of it on a cultivator from early in the spring if you want to go back and see it running. But I bought this what would it be? Oops. 3 years ago for $1,000. And you'll see I've got a video too from last winter doing a whole pile of work to it. You can see what it looked like before. And then you'll know why I only had to pay $1,000 for it. But anyway, there's the 700 for as much as I've got to tell you about it. You guys just got introduced to this guy not too long ago, but this is Grandpa Henry's 1086. I think it's a 79. It's got the white tins on it instead of red like mine. But yeah, he's got his front end loader on it. He's usually got a bale spear, or not bale spear, it's more like a pallet fork, but for bales. That's usually on it. It's what used to be his chore tractor when he had cows. He had this in a 1486, but the 1486 has long since gone down the road, and this is the one that stuck around because it had the loader on it. But he used it for haying, baling, harrowing, everything you'd use a 1086 for. So this one is his. And I guess now we're on to, we'll be looking at my 1086, but you guys saw me pushing snow with this, so if you want to see any more about it, you can go back to that video and see some more, but I guess move on to the next one. Alrighty, the second of the Internationals. This is my 1981 1086. This was, well, I kind of call it my first tractor because it's the first one that I had for more than 2 weeks. Because before this, the actual first one, I bought a 970 case and I got some work done to it and traded it off immediately on this because the only thing worse than an International is a fucking yellow and orange case. Or white and orange, because it was a white one, sorry. But there's my International. I've had this tractor for, fuck, must be 10 years now. Yeah, for sure. Maybe a little more than that. Maybe 11 years. I bought it when I was in grade 9. I think so. Yeah, grade 9. 8 or 9 anyway. So yeah, yeah, it would be at least that 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. But I've been through this tractor fucking one end to the other because, I mean, it's an International. It can't help it but break down, but there's the old 1086, 1981. Nothing real special, just an International. Anyway, I've got 4 things from 1981, so you may as well just go down the line to the next one. John Deere 4440. I bought this thing well, not last fall, but the fall before last fall. It'd be a year and a half now I've had it, I guess. And I bought it out of a guy's yard. It had been sitting for, I don't know, 10 years, something like that. It needed a head gasket and I parked it. I needed a tractor because this thing here was, the TA was shot. So I needed something to pull the baler in the fall there to finish baling straw, so I bought this. Went over to it, put batteries on it, checked the oil, hit the key, turned over maybe 3 times and fired right up. And at the end of the video here, I'll put a couple pictures. You can see what it looked like when I got it, where it was sitting in the trees. And then, I mean, I've got a couple videos on it last winter when I did all the work to it. It's got a rebuilt engine. I put new steps on it. It needs new front tires, but all new cab kit. The interior is all new. Everything's new. It's like a new tractor. So yeah, that is the 4440. I paid $2,000 for it, I think is what he wanted. So yeah, that's the story of this tractor. I guess now we'll get into the big ones. Alrighty, you guys all know this tractor, and if you've been on the channel for a while, you've seen us seed with it last spring, you've seen me buy it. All the videos are still there. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and look at them, but this is 1981 895 Versatile, and I just bought it last winter. I haven't even had it for a year yet. And yeah, you've seen us repaint it and do the work in the transmission. Put some extra lights on it. Yeah, I mean, you've seen everything, so there's not much I need to tell you about it. I've got the new decals for it in the shop, so I'm just waiting for a day when I've got some time. I can put it in the shop and redecal them, but we'll climb up in the cab real quick. You can see all the monitors for the air seeder and shit that way, but I got to do a little bit of interior work in it, but you can get a new cab kit, all the foam and everything for it, so I might get one of those next year for it, but just real quick climb in and show you what everything is. But like I said, if you go back to last spring, you can see us putting all this in here, and I explained it then, but that's for our video cameras, the anhydrous. Without that, I guess I ran out of recording space, but and there's the that's an air compressor for the anhydrous caddy we pull. That runs the emergency if it all of a sudden starts losing pressure in the tank. There's an air shut off, and it'll shut her down so your whole tank of anhydrous doesn't just spill out into the atmosphere and kill half the population. So anyway, I guess after this it's on to the 835, because I found out they're both 1981s, but the 835 is actually the newer one, because since they both have the same Cummins engine, Cummins has the block dated when they made them. So this one's got the older engine by 3 months in it, so that means the 835, well, with the engine anyway, is newer than this one. So that'll be the one we wrap it up on, so I guess we'll talk to you there in a little bit when we get to it. Alright, last but not least, this is the newest one. This is the 835. And this used to be Grandpa Gee's, and he bought it, it would have been in the mid to late 90s, or 80s when he bought it. He traded off a 4640 for it. But yeah, that's you've seen it in lots of videos too, so if you wanted to see more about it, you can go back and watch us seeding soybeans with it, and I think I did some cultivating with it in the fall. I don't think I videoed that, though. Maybe I did. But try and get in between here. There's not much room. There's the combines. You know all about those two, but we're talking about tractors today. The sprayer, but I'll clamber on up here. This is the one that we just got a whole bunch of work done to at a dealership. But there's the monitor for the Burgo air seeder, the one I seed my beans and peas with, and the acre counter. But that's really all there is to say about this whole girl. Just old faithful, always there when you need it, never done anyone any wrong, it just always works. So but yeah, it's a 1981, but its motor is newer than the 895s by a couple months, like I said there. So anyway, that's all the tractors. So if you guys want to see the rest of the machinery at a later date, maybe I'll make a video about the sprayer, the swathers, the combines, and the other junk laying around. But until then, hit that like button, subscribe for more. I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next one.